One of the things that comes up when you're applying to somewhere like Oxford or Cambridge is supercurricular.
Supercurricular activity is when you're engaging with the subject that you want to do at university, and you're engaging with it in your own time beyond the classroom because you want to learn more.
They're separate from any work that you have to do for school, and they should be focused on exploring your interests and exploring your subject more broadly rather than preparing for an exam.
Doing supercurricular activities is all for your benefit. You're going to find out more about your subject, and that's going to help you make a better decision about what you want to study at university.
Exactly what activities you should do will depend on your subject and your personal interests, but there are a lot of options.
It might be reading books, it might be reading newspaper articles or articles from specialist magazines. You might be listening to podcasts or watching documentaries on the television.
So you might watch relevant videos or listen to podcasts or go to public lectures or museums or exhibitions or do some kind of relevant work experience or practical project.
Whatever you choose to do, it's good to do a mix of them and make sure some of it is the reading of actual books because it's a great thing to put in your personal statement.
So we've developed these supercurricular tools for you online so that you can go about exploring your subject and recording what you're learning, what you're thinking about, where you might want to go next. We encourage you to download the supercurricular log, or you could build a version of your own with a spreadsheet, a table, Word document, whatever you want.
There's some really good ideas about what you could be reading on page 13 of the logbook from Queen's College. But there's lots of other different places as well that you can get ideas about what to read.
A lot of people do supercurricular activities to help when applying to university, but there are lots of other reasons to do them too. Exploring your subject will give you an idea of what it's like to study your subject at university, where you'll probably have to work much more independently than in school.
But it's also a good way for you to explore your subject. A lot of the stuff you get taught in school is the thin end of the wedge, and the really interesting things are things that you can go out and find out for yourself.
You might also find that supercurricular activities help you make sure that you're choosing a course that's actually right for you. If you don't enjoy learning more about your subject now, there's a good chance you wouldn't like it at university either. Even if you're sure you know what you want to study, sometimes courses with the same name at different universities can have quite significant differences, and exploring your subject now can be helpful for deciding which ones you'll enjoy more.
But why would you do the supercurricular reading? Well, for us, it's a great way of seeing that you're an interested student. The students who we want to take on are people who are really passionate about their subject and really interested in their subject. So doing some supercurricular reading is a great way of proving that to us.
There's no fixed number of supercurricular activities you should do, and it's definitely a case of quality over quantity.
You should be thinking about, what do you want to learn from what you're about to engage with? What is this article about? What am I hoping to gain from this? What do I think I'm going to learn? And if there are unanswered questions, maybe you have to look somewhere else.
It can be helpful to make a few brief notes after you read or watch something, both to help organise your thoughts about it and to remind yourself of it later on.
If you're looking for something to put in your personal statement, we would definitely want to see a couple of books that you've read there.
When you write a personal statement, it's important that you don't just list supercurricular activities without elaborating on them. Focusing on just a few activities or topics will allow you to go into more detail and give an admissions tutor more of an insight into how you think about your subject. For each activity or topic that you mention, you should aim to write a couple of sentences about how it changed the way you think about your subject, what it made you want to learn more about, or some thought or insight that you had about it.
How is it that you're demonstrating your passion for your subject? That's what we want to know about, particularly at Cambridge, when you are going to have these really intense academic discussions on a regular basis in the supervisions. We need to know that you enjoy engaging with that subject. So just tell us about what you've done, but what you've learnt from it.
Admissions tutors and directors of studies are looking for someone who's really passionate about their subject, someone who's really interested in it, and someone who can demonstrate that within the application form. You'll get another chance to do that, obviously, at interview, but the application form's the first thing that we're going to read.
Talking about supercurricular activities on your personal statement can help with all of these things, because they help demonstrate that you've taken the time to explore your subject beyond the work that your school has given you, and they can give you new ways of thinking about your subject or let you explore topics that you might not cover at school.
It's fair to say that some interviewers might use your personal statement for the basis of a question or a discussion at interview. They might not. It's entirely up to them.
It is going to be absolutely fair game to them to be able to ask you a question on that book, because that's a really good warm-up question for them. You've said you've read it, so what did you think about it? Why was it interesting? All those sorts of things.
For that reason, it's a good idea to reread your personal statement shortly before your interview and remind yourself of some key points for the topics and activities that you mentioned. However, it's worth remembering that not all subjects or all interviewers will do this, so if you're not asked about supercurricular activities at all, don't worry, that's completely normal.
No matter what university you want to go to, sell yourself. As British people, we aren't that good at it. We like to not tell people what we've done and sort of hope that they guess. We're not going to guess, okay? So this is a great opportunity for you to have a really good boast about all the work that you've done. Nobody else is going to have to read it apart from admissions tutors and people at the university, so don't be embarrassed by it, but sell yourself. Tell us what competitions you've entered, maybe for essay writing, what you've done linked to that subject. Tell us what you've read. We're not going to guess what you've done, so we need to be told by you. Good luck.